Welcome back to Sasquatch Hypothesis, the best damn Bigfoot show on the internet.
Big-chested, and it just was big. I don't know how to describe it any better than that. It's just made me look like I was a kid if I'd have stood beside it.
It had long, messed up hair on its body. It was big. I would say, if I had to guess, I would say probably 7, 8 feet tall.
Grandma's going, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling and screaming, Grandma, Grandma, the monster's coming, the monster's coming. And she's like, what are you talking about? And this thing, apparently, it caught up with the truck and snagged one of the girls and ran back up towards the mountain. That little girl was never found at all. And what does this thing do to the little girl? Nobody doesn't know.
Sometimes a Rev Rick, and always abrasive, but we love him anyway. Right, ladies? Here's Reverend Rick.
Good morning, everybody. I decided to start something new. This is going to be a informal, thus my just crawled out of bed look, coffee, where I'm going to talk about some of the comments. I'm going to respond to some of the comments on a video. And today it's going to be the children are prey to Sasquatch because of government silence video. So, hello everybody. Good morning. And I did just wake up, so give me a break. Let me find the video. Okay. This first thing I'll do is I'll go over the my favorite comment so far in the video is by No Problem, 3 hours ago. Unfortunately, this, if you've not watched the show, I'll give you real quick. This is me doing, this is actually, I think 2 years ago. I clipped it out of one of my videos. I talk about a story I'd heard years ago about a Bigfoot running through a yard, snatching up a little 5 or 6 year old girl, breaking its neck and running off into the woods with it. And I amped up the drama a little bit by making you imagine you were the father or mother having your coffee, looking out the sliding glass door and seeing this happen. And some people commented, well, you don't know that happened because at the end I said the parent wasn't there, but other than that, it's true. Well, the little kids in that story actually saw the Bigfoot, so I put that comment in there. So anyway, my favorite comment is by No Problem. He says, unfortunately, this has been known to happen. I have a brother-in-law who was a U.S. Border Patrol since 1980s until 2010. He told me this is not unheard of. There are many true tales surrounding this very scenario. If you knew my brother-in-law, you'd know he wouldn't lie about something like this. He's a big wuss. He actually shook when he recounted his own experience with this poor little boy. His body was so torn up that the funeral was closed casket, but the meatier parts were eaten. The coroner said that he was dead when it happened. So I can't see y'all's comments. Let me see if I can split this out so I can see your comments, your live chat rather, at the same time. Probably not going to be easy to pull this off because it's 2 different web pages. There, I guess that will work. Pull this one over a little bit. Don't do that. I hate it when it does stupid when you drag it over to the side and all of a sudden it wants to line the window up. It just messes me up. Oh, still dealing with that pinched nerve in my neck, people, so I'm gonna lean back. Lunch for you, Western New York? Yeah. Well, I'm disabled, so I don't work. I work at night. I take drunks home. That's what I do for Uber and Lyft. So I'm up all night and then sleep for most of the morning. Good morning, Justice Lord, Freak Nasty, Philip Suit, Mammal in the Woods. You missed show. We didn't have a show last night, buddy. We're gonna have one tonight. It's Fridays and Tuesdays. So you didn't miss anything yet. And there will be a show tonight, assuming my internet holds up. Yesterday I had to call my provider because it was screwed up again. I was only getting 1 meg up, not even 1 meg. Been like that for a week. So if you saw the last 2 shows, I think I had to do pre-recorded versions. So I finally called them. They're sending out a tech. Within 2 hours, they fixed it. They're doing it intentionally, I believe. They're trying to play with their bandwidth so that they don't have to purchase more to accommodate their customers. Mark Hidden. Unfortunately, my shop has a tin roof and it's raining. Lick skillet, huh? Seriously. Claudia. Hi, Claudia. You did not know. What, the Friday and Tuesdays? Yeah, I'm terrible about announcing it. I announce it in the video, and if you didn't watch the video, I announced it, and then you wouldn't know. Hi, Claudia. What is going on with my mouse? I think I need to buy a new one. It's like crapping out on me or something. Ah, you're kidding me. Just a second, people, while I deal with a hardware failure now. Yeah, that's what happens when you do live shows. It just crapped out again. What is going on? Oh, there we go. Alright, so back to the comments. Next comment, I'm just going to go in order here. Well, I think I'm going to skip the boring ones, the ones that are maybe, I don't know. Do you think this is more likely that older or infirm creatures would resort to capturing kids or elderly folks to eat because they are not able to hunt for game? I think it's more likely, but I think that ultimately any Bigfoot will do it in extreme circumstances. And I also think that if a Bigfoot were to do that in its youth, you know, long pork, I think that supposedly even when people resort to cannibalism, they like the taste of human flesh. So a Bigfoot would probably have, you know, done so in its youth and when it was desperate, and now, you know, it's just longing for the long pork. So it would probably do it its whole life, and that would become the rogue that's constantly killing and eating people. But I think if that doesn't happen, then yeah, it's only when they're old. You know, when they get older and they can't really hunt anymore and that kind of thing. That's my opinion, though. You know. So, okay, Ralph. Oh, Ralph. Ralph Rose. Mike, it is not just old and infirm. The full-grown adults will grab a kid and not think of it, well, he says, as lunch. All Bigfoot will kill a human if the circumstances are right. Yeah, that's basically what I said. In desperate circumstances, yes. Well, this is an interesting comment. Stony Way says that may imply morality. Even if it does or does not, Sasquatch seem to be opportunists. True. It is likely viewed as an easy meal. And I say that from a cryptid's perspective. A parent's child is their most loved, not simply the euphemism. Yeah, it does imply morality. And that's what's interesting, because I just did a show, a couple of weeks ago about the little kid who got lost, and they searched for him for days in inclement weather that was so bad that even searchers had issues, and yet the kid survived, and supposedly a bear kept him company. I think that's only because the kid didn't know what else to call it. But that Bigfoot had morality, had sympathy, so, you know, there's more to them than just being dumb animals. Or smart animals, for that matter. They've got something else going on. And then no problem. All right, I'm going to go back to the comments for the chat section for a second. Now there goes my mouse again. What is going on? Humble. Yes. No, I'm wearing shorts. Although sometimes I am. To be honest with you. Sometimes I am sitting there naked. Yeah, Mike, we humans are a delicacy. Children like lamb chops or veal. Yeah. Tender, juicy, soft meat, unfortunately. Yeah. Young long pork. I'm sure that Bigfoots love it once they have it. So, you know, once a Bigfoot's ate a kid, I don't think they're going to stop. Soon, every time they see a kid, they're going to eat the kid. Dee Dee. In the past, the indigenous people, Native Americans, called him the forest people. What does that tell you? Oh, Dee Dee's a different person here. Oh, he said, Mike Palumbo, rogues are as... I don't understand. Rogues are as number as there is extinct animals. There's more forest people with so much more love caring for. I'm sorry I couldn't make sense of your comment there. Yeah, a mammal in the woods. Yeah, I guess they could eat bones and all, couldn't they? It's like if you heard in my new intro, you heard Brenda Harris talking about the girl on the res that got taken out of the back of the truck, and they never found her. And she says, at all, they didn't find bones, nothing. Maybe that's why, because kids have, you know, softer bones. They could eat the bones and all. So maybe that's what happened to that girl. She was completely eaten. Okay, Jesse Barra says, I think you're 100% right about this, and this is a very scary thing if it's indeed true. Well, it is. Well, it's as true as I can testify to. The person who I heard it from said it was true. So, and I don't remember who that was. That was so many years ago. That was back before I started my show, so we're talking 2011, 2012, I heard that, so I couldn't tell you who it was. I just remember it because it struck me. You know, it was such a terrible story. Any creatures threatening my family, friends, and neighbors will be deleted, no matter what. I like the digital age reference. Deleted. Bobby Stambers, okay. Bobby Stambers, well put, humans on top of the list because thousands of them, they're more caring forest people than there is rogues. Yeah, Dee Dee, I really don't agree with you there. Bigfoot ultimately is living in the woods and is a predator and a meat eater. So I think that, to say that there are more that are caring, no. They're just out there. They need to survive. They run across your kid, they're going to eat your kid, more than likely. This situation with this kid, I think that's the exception rather than the rule, to be honest. I'd like to find out I'm wrong, but we'll never be able to do that until I can sit down with a Bigfoot on the other side of the table and interview him. That's when we'll find out. Yeah, Raphael, I know that there's a lot of people that testify or recount dogmen. I honestly don't believe a dogman exists. I think that they're just misidentifying Bigfoots, or maybe running into Bigfoot with some kind of extreme. I dawn vegan more extreme features, but I think they're all Bigfoot. Because think about it, a canine cannot develop the features of a primate. It just can't happen. That's why if you look at my video on dogmen, I talk about them being potentially a giant raccoon from millions of years ago that's still around. I really mean that. It's the only possible way, because raccoons do have hands similar to primates, and their feet look similar to primate footprints. It's the only way. And they're also related to dogs. So it's the only way. If those encounters are true, it's the only way. Although somebody did bring up, what if a baboon, but you can't breed an ape with a baboon either. So completely two different species. You are stating, okay, this is Stony Way. In my opinion, you are stating what is happening sadly and tragically. The cryptic dispatching the victim immediately is why no screams are made. Pilates doesn't provide his conclusions, but that's what he is thinking, I'm sure. It's the rogue Sasquatch that does not kill. They are opportunists and omnivores. They see opportunity, they take it. Well, I don't see why you're saying they does not kill. I don't think you understand the meaning of the word rogue, but I don't know that I agree with part of what you said there. Joe Polish. Yeah. I don't know. You're not talking to me, are you, freak? Most forest people are gentle. Oh, Raphael. Yeah. No, ain't happening. They're not. They're animals, dude. Even if they're people are animals too. They're out there. They're living in the forest. They're eating what they can eat. They are not gentle. They're not flute players. You live with some on your property, huh? And did they come and have breakfast with you on that? What are you trying to say here, Raphael? Okay, Joe Polish. There are different types. This is not most of them behave. The Janoskwa and the Gugway are both very carnivorous and are known, especially to the Indians, to be man-eaters. But not all Sasquatch are. There are just as many encounters that aren't threatening or violent as those that are. Probably more so. Nope. Well, okay, I'll give you that, because a lot of them walk away. I also don't think Bigfoot creatures are entirely responsible for missing 411 cases either. Not entirely, but majority, I would say absolutely. We're talking the ones that are unexplainable, and they never find them. That kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's Bigfoot. Now, different types. Let me give you my take on this. The Janoskwa and the Gugway are both very carnivorous and are known especially to the Indians to be man-eaters. Here's the thing about the Indians and their names. Okay, you could have the same exact animal. One is nice, one is not, and they will give it a different name. they're calling this one a Janoskwa because it does eat people, and this one a Sasquatch because it's nice or whatever. Whatever the name is, I'm not saying Sasquatch is that name. So don't, Rick said, whatever that name is, Forest Mother, whatever they want to say. Whatever that Indian name is, they gave it to this one because this one's nice and it helps people. But this one over here is mean and it eats people. They're going to call that one something different. It's the word means something different. It's not that the word means a different species of animal. It just means that that animal acts in this way. Now, in some cases, I'm sure it does mean a different species of animal. But from what I can tell, Janoskwa, Gugwe, the mean carnivorous ones, all it means is that they're mean and carnivorous. It doesn't mean that it's a different species. And then when people start talking about them being gnarly teeth and all, I think that is just the way that people describe them to amp up the drama of the situation by making the creature look like it acts. I don't think it necessarily means that they really do have those features. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm just saying that's my take on it, because that's pretty much how mythology and all of that works. The descriptions match the personality. Hercules, the strongest man who ever lived. He's like massive. Right? Well, for all we know, if Hercules ever really existed, which he didn't, but he could have been. As the string bean. He was strong because he was part god. It doesn't mean that he was built like Arnold Schwarzenegger used to be built. Doesn't mean that. He was just strong because he was part god. So they depicted him that way. Let's see. Replies to Joe Polish here. Joe Polish. Think you someone with his head. Some people love. I'm going to read this because I love scary stories, whatever. Okay, we're going to skip over him. Okay, Danny Albright. I'm going to address this once. I've heard Christians say Bigfoot is the Nephilim, the fallen angels. Does anybody think this is true? No. No. I've researched religion in the Bible for decades. There's no such thing as Nephilim. No such thing. It's a misinterpretation. The English version misinterpretation of the original words. There's no such thing. End of story. Not going to talk about it anymore. Which is going to make one of my guys angry on my panel. But, that's misinterpretation. You have to read the original language to know what they're really saying there. Okay. God help us all. Well, there you go. In the woods, yes. This is interesting. Per. Okay, I'm going to murder this name, but Per Arn Moen. In Scandinavia, old folklore tells about these huge hairy creatures, which in the Nordic culture were called trolls. Yeah, I was wondering if that was the origin of the troll mythology. In the native Lappish culture, far north and crossing into Russia, the Lapps talk about a creature they fear and call it skunka or skunka. That sounds fairly similar to the Indian skookum. Why is my page scrolling by itself? Another name for Sasquatch. Interesting that that was the origin of the troll mythology. I was always wondering about that. I actually tried to research to find out. I was going to do a show about that. Now it's been verified by somebody who lives there. I'm reading the live chat here, so just a second, folks. Enoch proves giants. People, what you have to realize is that these old books, Enoch, the Apocryphal, even the Bible, this is all stuff that was written by people years ago who were trying to get a message across. You know, a lot of it's metaphors. I mean, I know your die-hard Bible thumpers and Christians believe, oh, it's the Word of God as He wanted it written. It's the word of man is what it is. Man's interpretation of religious events and that kind of thing. They might be writing about something that really happened to them, but they're writing it in a way that, number one, can be understood by the dumbasses who lived back then, because think about it, their IQ is what, 80? Right? So you had to put things in terms that they knew they could understand. And things that wouldn't get them laughed at. I mean, laughed out of town. You know, I mean, there were a whole lot of reasons why things got wrote the way that they did. And then over the years, they've remained the same. And, you know, the Pope and everybody wants you to believe this is exactly the Word of God. You know, not necessarily. You gotta take it with a grain of salt and understand the times in which they were written, and the things that have occurred in history since then that have shaped the way that the Bible is today. So I'm probably losing dozens of subscribers right now. Sorry, people. All right, let's move on here. Just my observation, forensic reconstruction Neanderthal matches exactly the Bigfoot Yeti descriptions of today. Yeah, you're talking about Lloyd Pye. Check out this video. I don't agree with everything, but spot on forensic reconstruction is simple kind. Connect the dots. Plenty of info out there. Neanderthal profile of a super predator. I'm pretty sure that's the Lloyd Pye video. It is a good video. I think he has a point too. Really good. The exact I'm reading chat real quick here. All right. I found, back to the comments. I am not with him on how they look. Yeah, that's still the Lloyd Pye thing, I'm pretty sure. We're going back and forth about that. Humans are killing everything. Research shows more have helped people and children. Yeah, research. Who's research? DD. It's D.D. Yeah, show me your research where Bigfoot. What is it? More have helped people and children. Do not think so. Put money on it. I'm not going to receive that research anytime in the near future. Everyone can make up a story. What's your proof it actually happened? And the name is non-available. Don't have any proof it happened. Don't really care to give you proof it happened, dude. You can believe me or not. Don't really care. Eminem, finally a channel that doesn't make all Bigfoot out to be harmless, benevolent creatures. No doubt not all are eating kids, just like not all lions have eaten a human. I wonder if these things are the same as Neanderthal type, that science already has a small history of. Different types of skulls found that are exactly what people are seeing. Just add hair. I'm not an anthropologist, but seems obvious to me. Heavy brow, large cheekbones, high set, large nose, robust jaw, large bones, a sport heavy weight. I don't know, it just seems like, okay. Come on. There you go. I think something's eating up my CPU or something. That's what's going on with my mouse. Seems like we already have some remains on that line. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second. This person might be about to mention what I'm going to say, but before I forget. Yeah, the Neanderthals were known to eat humans. They were cannibals. Well, not cannibals, different species, but they ate us. The Neanderthals were eating people. They found piles and piles of human bones in caves with Neanderthals, and they had been chewed on. So, same thing, right? I'm convinced they didn't die out. Then the kicker, the folklore or stories from long ago about man-eaters from indigenous peoples around the world. No other theory has that much to go on. Anyway, man, stand your ground on this. I'm not the brightest bulb, but I know you aren't saying all big feet are man-eaters, whereas some are saying they are almost angelic-like and brilliant, able to solve this world's troubles. Yeah, yeah, it cracks me up too. Nope, I can easily shoot that mess down by behavior alone. But I'm fine with people having their own understanding of the world, if it's not causing harm to another person, that is. I just know if one of these dudes took my little girl, I'd want revenge. Yep. And that was the thing about why I told the story the way I did. To get across how utterly helpless a parent must feel in that situation when their kid is taken by a Bigfoot. You know, when your kid is killed in a drive-by, you know, you can try to have the gang arrested, prosecuted, put in prison for life, maybe death penalty, whatever. There is some kind of, you know, catharsis, I guess is the right word, to the scenario, even though it's still just as sad. But in this situation, you're totally powerless. Your kid is just gone. And there's nothing you can do. Even if they, I mean, at best, what are they going to do? Kill the Bigfoot. If they can find him. And then you don't even know if it's the same Bigfoot, right? Just go around killing every Bigfoot you find. That's about all you can do. I turned the show up so my son-in-law could hear it. My granddaughter is the type who is constantly on the go. You can't be too cautious. All right, Randy, I don't understand why are you telling me the audio was too low? I don't understand it. Many stories about Bigfoot saving and protecting children, but just like man, there are probably good ones and bad ones. According to statistics, about 1 million humans on planet Earth go missing each year. That's equal to a large city missing each year, yeah. These are wild creatures that are masters of the woods. Every creature in North America fears them, including grizzly bears. The governments of the world know that they exist. Our Justice Department has given them a species ID number. Really, I'd like to know where you heard that, Randy Beard, or Baird. What is going on with my mouse? Where did it go? Okay. Species ID number. Sometimes a Bigfoot goes rogue in a national park and a military SWAT team has to be called in to retrieve or kill it. No news teams are allowed to report these events. Well, they're not called a SWAT team, but okay. This story is really, and this is just in time. Wow, this story is reality of the matter. I don't think they are all like that. Just like anything, you're going to have the worst. I think that there is more than we think. I think they have much more intelligence than we give them credit. I also think they are closer than we think. What do you think? I think that's a lot of thinks. Yeah, I think that they're a human relation. I do. Let's see, where am I at? Am I about done with these comments? I've had to very... What? Japalo 31675. I've had to very quick sightings, but I don't know if he means 2, like the number 2. But I do believe some are more primate while others are more hominid. Just like chimps eat their own and have been known to steal human children. Really, I hadn't heard that. That's interesting. Certain species or breeds of Squatch do the same. There have been documented rapes also. Just like chimps sexually molest their young, Certain squatches, the more hominid kind, do the same. Never hunt where they are present. If you are menstruating, do not go near their areas. The only good squatch is a dead one, from Jesse F. Let's see if that fixes my mouse. There we go. All right. All I say is that all speculation about Squatch Cougar, on the other hand, is... Oh, this is Squatchophile. All I'll say is that this is all speculation about Squatch. Talking about my video. A cougar, on the other hand, I thoroughly would believe. A grizzly, possibly. I want to think that Squatch wouldn't, but let me be clear, I also don't think they are Harry and the Hendersons. I can definitely give merit to a grown woman being abducted and raped by one. The story of the Russian woman lends credibility to that thought. As for government agencies knowing, that's all... Oh, as far as government agencies knowing, that's all about greed and control, in my perception. No, I don't think so. I think it's about liability. You're talking about congressmen and senators and everybody being ousted, losing their job when people find out what's going on, that they've been hiding this and they've known about Bigfoot. There's a liability. There's financial liability on the part of the government. There's a liability of all of the seated whatever. What are the executive branch, I guess? No, not executive. Legislative branch that will be booted. They won't be reelected. People find out they've known about this. That's one of the things they're going to be doing, a two-step to try and hide the fact that they all knew about it. The government knows this, thus are guilty of murder by keeping them. They're guilty of negligent homicide, potentially. That's about it. Keeping it secret. It is a rogue Sasquatch, and being similar to humans, have varying tempers, dislikes, and tastes. Yeah. And that's by Richard Ritchie. Rich Ritchie. I bet he got hell in school. I just wonder if I had a Bigfoot chained up in my barn and was trying to sell it, if some kind of law would show up and take it from me. Probably. Teresa Hickey. You know, it's funny, Teresa. You've said something to me about living near Lee County, which is where I had my encounter, my first encounter. And I actually knew a Teresa Hickey there. When I saw your name the first time, I was like, man, that can't be the same. And then you said something about wanting to know if I knew some people you knew and stuff. It was ironic. I was about... Oh, the big feller. I was about killed by one. Valerian down below is right about them. I call them killers. Then there's the big uglies. That's all I know of. Some people say there's 7 kinds, but I only know about the 2 kinds. I write like a 6-year-old, sorry. Peeps is always giving me a rash about it. Neither kind is friendly, but the thing is, the economy is affected by negative things like monsters killing people. So yes, it is a fact that Big Brother kills them. You would not even believe how much of our economy is dependent on the outdoors. If you think just retail sales, I think that's a smaller part than everyone thinks. And Teresa Hickey again, I'd never thought of them as doing things like this until you just said it. But if it's a true story, then I'd like to know more about it and where it happened. I really don't want to think they do that because of the story that just happened this last month, where the boy from North Carolina was missing. Yeah. The lady said, the boy, thank God blew your whistle because that's how we found you. And the boy said, I don't have a whistle. I hadn't heard that. That's interesting. Evidently, the Bigfoot whistled for the people. Yeah. Like I said a minute ago, some are good, some aren't. But you're taking your chances more often than not with them. All right, I'm going to read the chat real quick. Something about Claudia, which I missed. He goes, just hurts the subject. I don't know what guy you're talking about. I've never seen one video Colorado Bigfoot that had any contact with Bigfoot. And the tree structures are simply amazing. Okay, you're all just talking amongst yourselves. Okay. If this is a true story, this is from Numov, something I cannot and never will be able to pronounce. If this is a true story, which I very much doubt, okay, where in the public record is it found? Oh, come on, dude. You people and you're going to show me a public record, show me the newspaper article. Yeah. Come on. Give me a break. Show me the newspaper article where Jesus Christ was crucified. Show me the article. Not the Bible. The Bible is a book created by man. Show me the newspaper article. And I am an ordained minister. Yes, I believe and all that. I'm just telling you. You want to say it about one thing, you need to apply it across the board. And Delaneria Anderson, speak up. Sorry, I had a different mixer back then. It didn't quite go as loud as this one does. That was like 2 years ago. So Sasquatch that becomes... What is going on with my mouse? I think I have to reboot my computer or something. It's been running too long. I'm reading this because he's being long-winded about how bad a speller he is. Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks, big feller. Yeah, Sasquatch, cannibals, serial killers. Yeah, that's the one part about Sasquatch. Once the government recognizes them and recognizes them as another human-type species and just someone joining society, they're in trouble then because they're going to go to prison. Good morning, Dee Dee. My fiance, Dee Dee. It's about time you got your butt out of bed. Really enjoy your tone of voice. Oh, Cecilia Brooks. Oh, thank you, Cecilia. Hello, Crypto. What up? What up? This is a lot of what ups here. Oh, there's this guy called Desktop. When has a Sasquatch ever abducted and ate anyone? This guy is dangerously delusional. I don't know what 549 are you kidding me is, but okay. Since Bigfoot disappears into the woods and you can't find them until after they've already made the person a bowel movement, it's going to be a little hard to prove their Desktop. But people have seen them take off with people. We are only assuming that they're eating them, but they're never seen again, so it's kind of like a grizzly bear drags someone off in the woods. You're pretty sure that the guy got ate, you know? It takes all kinds. I can tell you what, some of y'all are just morons. Lesbian Sasquatch. What? Who said that? American Indian legends sometimes describe Sasquatch taking women and children of their tribes. Oh, that's Debbie Roberts. I thought it was the other guy. Funny thing, though, they always appeared as females. What? They would no doubt be lesbian Sasquatch taking females. This guy's a moron. Actually, I think I'm just going to block him from the channel, even though he does cause a little drama, which is good for the numbers. But you're gone. Done. He's gone. What do you tell the police when something happens? Seems like they would just blame the parents. Yeah, that's true too. How many parents have gone to prison, gotten a death penalty because their child just went missing and the police, you know, they got prosecuted and found guilty of murder, even though the kid was never found, you know. I wondered about that myself. What? Dee Dee. Holy smokes. What did you retract? Was that you giving me crap about something? He needs help. CB needs our help. Who's CB? Yeah, I seriously think the government should be held directly responsible for kids being taken out of their yards, out of the parks, all of that, and being eaten, you know. The government should be putting aside a bank account, an escrow account right now to pay reparations to families and so forth, because it's ridiculous. They are directly responsible because they're trying to keep it a secret. Maybe they're trying not to worry people, whatever their reasons are. But the problem is that they also are not educating the people to be careful. How do you try to keep your kids safe? You're not going to keep them safe. A Bigfoot could tear its way through your house, go in there and take every one of your family members, or just sit in there and eat y'all. There's nothing you can do to stop one if it's that determined. But there are steps you can take to try to protect yourself. And then until the government comes out and admits this and starts educating people, it's just going to continue to go on. And the government is absolutely liable for that. So that's the end of the commentary. This one, the ones that kill us, we should go and kill them. Very astute, David Baker. Around sleeves, and when I decide to get on a phone, somebody's talking to me, decides we can. Oh, I think she's talking about my dog. Yeah. Okay, Robert Clarence Harden. Now this pisses me off. I will start shooting these big. Okay, I can't say that word right now. The only good Bigfoot is a dead one. Well, it's not really a call to arms quite, but Hillary Clinton knows where the children are. She and her friends eat children. She is untouchable by anyone. Randy Wassam. That was quite the stretch to make a political statement about Hillary Clinton. Okay. Look at that. My fiance still has not said good morning to me. How was about that? Well, she probably did and I missed it. But fix my mouse. Okay. That's it for the... Oh, you kidding me? Would you move? Thank you. Where'd it go? Figures every time I do a show, there's something. It's either the internet or a hardware failure or a camera or something. It's crazy. It's live shows. Oh, you said good morning to me in Discord. Thank you, honey. Hold on, people. I lost track of my program now. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm back to chat, live chat. That's all the comments. So I don't know how frequently I'm going to do this morning coffee thing. Just depends on how popular it is. If y'all have another look at the show if you missed the beginning, because our brand new intro is on here, and that as soon as we can clear the copyright crap that's going on with some, what was it, note or something, route note, that seems to be going around doing CI copyright IDs or whatever on YouTube, which means that they're trying to steal everyone's ad revenue. As soon as we can get that cleared up, it will be on all the episodes. So let me see what's everyone saying here. Yeah, very few researchers are actually researchers. They're investigators. A researcher is somebody who sticks to scientific method and knows what they're doing. People who call themselves researchers are investigators. Mostly. And Freak Nasty, you said a lot of these clowns hurt the subject with their crap they put out and need to be called out on it. Yeah. Well, first of all, they need to stop calling themselves researchers, because people aren't going to pay attention to you when you elevate yourself to this researcher, scientist status, and you don't know what you're doing. You know, you're an investigator. That works. That's not going to be as damaging to the Bigfoot community as a whole if you call yourself an investigator. You know, the only people who should be calling themselves researchers are people who have gone to college. They're scientists. Meldrum, he could call himself a researcher, sure. Somebody who's educated in scientific method or forensic evidence collection, that kind of thing. But everybody else, like, oh, Dee Dee, what's the name of the guy we were just talking about that I said I knew years and years ago? What's his name? The one that jumped all over your brother. The hillbilly guy. Like him calling himself the best researcher in the country and all that stuff. That guy. I remember when he used to ask me questions because he didn't know anything. Now he thinks he's the best in the country or whatever. Fred Canny, yeah, Fred Canny. Oh, that man, he needs some lithium or something. I'm telling you. Yeah, that guy calls himself a researcher. I mean, investigator, please, and that's a stretch with Fred. I'm telling you. Sorry, Fred. You remember when me and you used to do Real or Not Real on the other Bigfoot show? Yeah, or the other Bigfoot channel or site. Or that was I guess it was a channel. Yeah, buddy. I remember you back before you knew what a Bigfoot was, and now you think you're the best in the in the country. Come on now, come on, dude. You need to do a reality check. Fairly new sub. Watched a lot of your work, and your chats are great. A Bigfoot killed my German Shepherd in July. Really? Carrie Ann. Hey, honey, why don't you try and get her into Discord? Talk about her German Shepherd situation and all that, you know, tonight, maybe, right? Anyway, folks, I don't know if this, what did I call this? Coffee with Reverend Rick. If this is popular, I might make it a regular thing, you know, a morning time thing instead of a nighttime thing, where I sit here naked, drinking coffee, talking to you about my comments. No, I'm not naked, people. I got shorts on. Today, anyway. So, if anyone else has anything, Discord, honey, did you post the Discord link and everything? It is right, where is it going to be? Over here. Right? Wow, this is lagging a lot. Yeah, it's over here. Really lagging. Way behind. Anyway, you can join us in Discord 24/7. There's always people popping in and out if you want to discuss Bigfoot. You can also come in there like when we do shows at night. Things like that. Yeah, and Carrie Ann, love to hear your story about your German Shepherd, and I would assume that there's something other than just that story to go along with it. Probably some other activity you have going on there. Anyway, folks, yeah, thanks, Don. Thanks. That's probably about it. I'm going to go ahead and end the show now and try to go and fix the copyright because I used my new intro here before they steal all of the, although I don't think there's much ad revenue on this so far, but I don't like to give anybody something they didn't work for. Anyway, oh, I need to add something to the end as well. So if you give me a second, I need to actually add something to my ending before I end. So I'm going to do something else here for a second. Y'all talks amongst yourselves. And I will be right with you. Doggone it, this mouse is driving me crazy. That and actually, I don't think I have it. Doggone it. Not finding it. We'll see if this is it. Maybe. Anyway. All right, people. Until next time, y'all take it easy.
Welcome back to Sasquatch Hypothesis, the best damn Bigfoot show on the internet.
Big chested, and I mean, it just was big. I don't know how to describe it any better than that. It's just made me look like I was a kid if I'd have stood beside it.
It had long, messed up hair on its body. It was big. I would say, if I had to guess, I would say probably 7-8 feet tall.
Grandma's going, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling and screaming, Grandma, Grandma, the monster's coming, the monster's coming. And she's like, what are you talking about? And this thing, apparently, you know, it caught up with the truck and snagged one of the little girls and ran back up towards the mountain. That little girl was never found at all. What does this thing do to the little girl? Nobody doesn't know.